"Daddy, is it true Mommy didn't love us?" Those 6 words shattered Daniel Whitmore's world. When his 6-year-old twins ask that question through tears, Daniel learns someone's been poisoning their minds, his new wife, Vanessa. But what begins as emotional cruelty soon turns into psychological warfare, lies, and manipulation inside his own home. Who's telling the truth, the loving wife or the loyal maid? Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. The sound of crying pierced through the silence of the Whitmore mansion like knives. Daniel Whitmore dropped his car keys onto the marble floor and sprinted toward the stairs, taking 2 steps at a time. His heart pounded, each cry sharper than the last. "Ethan! Liam!" he called out. The twins' voices echoed faintly from upstairs. When Daniel pushed open their bedroom door, the sight froze him in place. Sophia, their housekeeper of 3 years, was sitting on the floor, holding both 6-year-old boys in her arms. All 3 were crying. Ethan's small face was buried against her shoulder, and Liam clung to her sleeve as if his life depended on it. Daniel knelt beside them. "What happened?" His voice cracked. Sophia looked up. Her eyes were red and swollen. "Mr. Whitmore, She swallowed hard, brushing her tears away. "The boys were terrified when I came in this morning." "Terrified? Of what?" He gently cupped Ethan's trembling face. "Hey, buddy, talk to me." Sophia hesitated, glancing toward the door as if afraid someone might overhear. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "Mrs. Vanessa had an argument with them last night, after you left for the airport." Daniel frowned. "An argument? They're 6 years old, Sophia. What kind of argument?" She yelled at them, "Sir!" said some horrible things about their mother. Daniel's stomach tightened. "Elena?" Sophia nodded. "She told them their mom didn't love them enough, that she left because she didn't care, and that now they're stuck with a stepmother who doesn't want them either." For a moment, Daniel couldn't breathe. His late wife, Elena, had died of cancer 2 years ago. Why would Vanessa, his new wife, say something like that? He turned to his sons. Ethan's small voice broke the silence. "Dad, are you gonna die too?" The words hit Daniel like a physical blow. He pulled them both into his arms, holding them so tightly they could barely breathe. "No, no, my loves. Daddy's not going anywhere. Ever." Was it true what she said? Liam's voice shook. "That Mommy didn't love us?" Daniel blinked through tears. "Your mom loved you more than anything in this world. She got sick, that's all. It was never your fault." The boys clung to him, their sobs softening but their bodies still trembling. Daniel looked at Sophia. "You're sure Vanessa said those things?" Sophia nodded silently. He stood up, anger rising beneath his grief. Vanessa had always been sweet, patient even, the woman who'd helped him survive Eleanor's death, who had been so kind to his children, at least when he was around. "Stay with them," he told Sophia, grabbing his phone as he stepped into the hallway. Vanessa had flown to visit her sister in Phoenix that morning. He dialed her number. After a few rings, her bright voice answered. "Hey, babe, you home already? How was your flight?" Daniel's tone was clipped. "Vanessa, I need to ask you something. Did you argue with the boys last night?" A pause, then a surprised laugh. "Argue? No, of course not. Why?" "Because I just found them hysterical. Sophia said you yelled at them and said awful things about Elena." Another pause, longer this time. Her voice dropped, hurt, almost offended. "Daniel, that's ridiculous. I would never say something like that. You know how much I love those kids," Sophia said. "Maybe she misunderstood," Vanessa interrupted quickly. "You know how she gets sometimes. A little dramatic." Daniel frowned. Sophia's not dramatic. She was shaking. Well, Vanessa sighed. I didn't want to say this, but she's been acting strange lately. Jealous, maybe. I think it bothers her that I'm the lady of the house now. You know, boundaries and all that. Daniel rubbed his forehead. Jealous? Come on, Vanessa. Sweetheart, she said softly, her voice dripping with sincerity. You know how I treat Ethan and Liam. I adore them. If anything serious had happened, don't you think they would have called you themselves? He hesitated. That was true. Vanessa had always been affectionate around the boys when he was home. He had never seen any sign of cruelty. I just don't want unnecessary tension here, she continued. If Sophia's spreading stories, maybe it's time we reconsider her position. I can't have that kind of negativity around the kids. Daniel's jaw tightened. Let's not jump to conclusions. I'll handle it when I'm back. Of course, she said sweetly. I just want our family peaceful. I love you, Daniel, and I love those boys like they're my own. He ended the call but didn't feel reassured. Back in the bedroom, Ethan and Liam were curled up together on the bed, exhausted from crying. Sophia sat beside them, brushing their hair gently. Can you tell me exactly what happened last night? Daniel asked quietly. Ethan shook his head. Don't want to talk. Please, son. It's important. Liam looked up with wide eyes. She got mad. Said Mommy left because we were bad. Said if we tell you, you'll get mad too. Daniel's blood ran cold. She told you that? Both boys nodded. Sophia lowered her head. Sir, they've been calling her something behind your back. What? The mean lady? Daniel exhaled sharply, staring at the sleeping children. He'd been blind. For 3 years, Sophia had cared for them like her own. She had no reason to lie. Has this happened before? He asked. Sophia hesitated. Yes, sir. Sometimes when you travel, she loses patience, says cruel things. I tried to calm her down once. She told me if I interfered again, she'd fire me. Daniel clenched his fists. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't want to cause trouble. I need this job, sir. My daughter's in high school, college next year. I thought I could protect the boys quietly. Daniel sighed deeply, guilt sinking into his chest. You've done more than enough, Sophia, but this ends now. His phone buzzed, a reminder from his assistant, business trip to Chicago on Monday, a multi-million-dollar deal he couldn't cancel. Sophia, he said after a long silence, I'll be gone next week. I need you to stay with the boys full-time. Don't mention this conversation to Vanessa, okay? I need to understand what's really happening first. Sophia frowned. Sir, if she finds out, just 1 week, he said firmly. If anything happens, call me immediately, no matter the time. She nodded reluctantly. I will, sir. Daniel looked at his sons, tiny bodies clinging to each other in sleep. Thank you, Sophia, he said quietly, for protecting them when I didn't. She smiled faintly, tears glistening in her eyes. They're good boys, Mr. Whitmore. They don't deserve this. Daniel left the room with a heavy heart. As he stood in the hallway, he looked at the framed family photo on the wall. Him, Vanessa, and the twins on a sunny beach, smiling like a perfect family. For the first time, he wondered how much of that happiness had ever been real. By Monday morning, Daniel's suitcase was packed, and the house felt unnaturally calm. Vanessa stood by the bedroom door, sipping coffee in a silk robe, her voice gentle as honey. Are you sure you can't stay 1 more day? He smiled faintly, zipping up his bag. The contract's too important, Van. I'll be back Friday night. Her hand brushed his arm. The boys will miss you. I know. His eyes softened. They'll be fine with Sophia. Vanessa's lips twitched. Of course. The tone was smooth, but the undercurrent was sharp. When Daniel left for the airport, Sophia watched from the window with the twins beside her. Vanessa stood behind them, smiling and waving until the taxi disappeared around the corner. Then, as soon as the car was gone, that smile vanished. The boys felt it first. The air changed, heavy, tense. Sophia sensed it too. It was Tuesday morning, only 12 hours since Daniel's departure, when she heard footsteps descending the grand staircase. Vanessa appeared, not in her usual soft colors but in a fitted black dress. Her face was perfectly made up, her expression cold. "Good morning, Mrs. Whitmore," Sophia greeted cautiously from the kitchen. "Good morning," Vanessa said evenly, seating herself at the breakfast bar. "Coffee?" "Yes, ma'am." Sophia poured it quickly, hands steady despite the tension building in her chest. Vanessa took a slow sip, her eyes never leaving her. "So," she began, "did you have a long conversation with my husband before he left?" Sophia froze. "Conversation?" "I saw you two in the hallway Sunday night," Vanessa said casually. "It looked personal." Sophia's throat tightened. "Mr. Whitmore was just worried about the children," Vanessa smiled, a thin, icy smile. "I'm sure he was. But let's remember our places in this house, shall we? Daniel is a kind man. Some women confuse kindness for something else." Sophia felt her face heat. "I would never." "Relax," Vanessa interrupted smoothly. "It's just a friendly reminder." She set her cup down. "Now, where's breakfast? The boys should be eating." As if summoned, Ethan and Liam appeared at the stairs, hair tousled, eyes still swollen from restless sleep. "Good morning, my darlings," Vanessa said, suddenly bright, her voice sugary sweet. "Come give Mommy a hug." The boys hesitated. Sophia caught the glance they shared, fear disguised as politeness. They walked forward slowly and hugged her just long enough to avoid anger. Vanessa clapped her hands softly. "Sit, sit. Sophia made your favorite oatmeal, right?" "Yes, ma'am," Sophia said. "With strawberries, just how they like it." Vanessa inspected the bowls. She scraped a spoon across one, frowning. "You call this clean?" Sophia blinked. "Ma'am, there are water spots. Look." She held up a plate with an invisible smudge. "Is this how you take care of my things?" The dishes were washed last night. "Don't argue," Vanessa snapped. "If I say they're dirty, they're dirty. Wash them again." Sophia swallowed her pride. "Yes, ma'am." She took the plates back to the sink and began re-washing them silently. Behind her, Vanessa smiled sweetly at the boys. "Your dad told me he's very proud of me for keeping this house perfect while he's gone. That means everyone must do their part, doesn't it?" Ethan nodded stiffly. Liam just looked down at his oatmeal. Vanessa leaned closer to them. "And remember, when Daddy calls, we tell him everything's wonderful. Because if he worries too much, he might send Sophia away again. You don't want that, do you?" Ethan's spoon trembled in his hand. "No, ma'am. Good boys." She kissed the top of his head lightly, her eyes flicking toward Sophia. "See? They understand obedience." Sophia kept her face turned away, fighting the urge to defend herself. The house phone rang, startling them all. Vanessa answered, her tone instantly cheerful. "Hi, darling, just in time. We were having breakfast." Sophia froze. "Daniel." "Yes, everything's perfect here," Vanessa continued, walking toward the kitchen doorway so Sophia could hear. "The boys slept well. Sophia's doing great, very cooperative." A pause. No problems at all," Vanessa lied smoothly. "The kids are happy. We're fine, really." Then she turned toward the boys and smiled that rehearsed smile. "Right, boys? Want to say hi to Daddy?" She hit the speaker button. Ethan and Liam's voices came out thin and shaky. "Hi, Dad." "Hey, buddies." Daniel's warm voice filled the kitchen. "You being good?" Vanessa placed a hand on Liam's shoulder, her nails pressing just enough to make him flinch. "Yes, Daddy," Ethan answered quickly. "That's my boys. I miss you already. Be good for Mom, okay?" "Yes, Daddy," Liam whispered. "Love you both." When the call ended, Vanessa's voice lost all sweetness. "See how easy that was? No need for drama. Daddy's happy, and we want to keep it that way." The twins sat frozen, small hands gripping their spoons. "Now," Vanessa said, turning to Sophia, "I expect the entire house spotless before lunch, top to bottom." "Yes, Ma'am." "And one more thing," she added as she ascended the stairs, her heels clicking like a countdown. "Next time my husband calls, don't hover near the phone. It looks desperate." Sophia stood motionless for a long moment after she left. Then she turned toward the boys. They were staring at their bowls, unmoving. "You can finish later," she whispered gently. "Go play outside for a while." They nodded silently and slipped out to the garden. By mid-afternoon, Sophia was vacuuming the living room when she heard Vanessa's voice upstairs, sharp, deliberate, carrying down the staircase. "Yes, I'm looking for a new housekeeper. No rush. I just like to have options. Someone young, reliable, who knows her place." Sophia's hand froze on the vacuum handle. She felt a chill run down her spine. Was Vanessa actually planning to replace her, or just using it as a threat? Later. During the twins' nap time, Sophia sat beside their beds. Ethan was already asleep, but Liam stirred restlessly. "Miss Sophia," he murmured, half awake. "Is Daddy coming back soon?" She brushed his hair gently. "Yes, sweetheart. Just a few more days." He turned toward her. "The mean lady said he might not come back, that he's tired of us." Sophia's chest ached. "That's not true. Your dad loves you very much." "Then why did Mommy leave?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Because she was sick, honey, but she loved you until her last breath." Liam nodded slowly, closing his eyes again. When Sophia left the room, she leaned against the wall, trying to steady her breathing. She thought about calling Daniel, telling him everything, but she knew Vanessa would find out. Her phone buzzed. It was her teenage daughter, Lucia. "Mom, the school's doing a history trip to D.C., Lucia said excitedly. "It costs $300. I have to pay by Friday or I can't go." Sophia's heart sank. $300? Honey, that's half my paycheck." "I know, Mom, but it's really important. Everyone else is going." Sophia bit her lip, glancing toward the ceiling, where she could still hear Vanessa's footsteps upstairs. "I'll try, mija. I promise I'll figure something out." After the call ended, she stood in silence. Her hands trembled as she cleaned, torn between fear and responsibility. Upstairs, unseen, Vanessa was standing by the railing, listening. A small, satisfied smile spread across her face. By the time she came downstairs again, her tone was syrupy sweet. "Tough day, Sophia? You look worried." "It's nothing, Mom," Sophia said quietly. "Money troubles?" Vanessa's voice carried false sympathy. "Maybe I can help." Sophia hesitated. "It's my daughter's school trip. She needs—" "How much?" $300. Vanessa let out a soft laugh. "Well, that's easily solved. I'll lend it to you. Consider it an advance. You can pay me back from your next checks." Sophia blinked, stunned. "You'd do that?" "Of course," Vanessa smiled. "We're like family, aren't we?" Then, leaning closer, "Just remember to be cooperative. No more gossip or misunderstandings. I'd hate to think my generosity was wasted." Sophia understood perfectly. It wasn't kindness, it was leverage. As Vanessa placed the crisp bills on the counter, her voice turned silky. "See? We can help each other, as long as you remember who's in charge." Sophia picked up the money slowly, realizing the trap had just closed around her. Wednesday morning arrived under a blanket of grey rain clouds. The mansion felt heavier than usual, the air thick with something unspoken. Sophia woke early to make breakfast. She wanted to keep things calm for the twins, to protect them however she could. But the moment she entered the kitchen, she knew the day would not go easily. Vanessa was already there, sitting at the counter in a spotless white blouse, a faint smile resting on her lips like a weapon disguised as politeness. "Good morning," Vanessa said smoothly. "I hope you slept well. We need to talk about something." Serious, Sophia tensed. "Yes, ma'am?" Vanessa lifted something from the counter, a small broken toy airplane. "I found this in the boys' room. It's completely destroyed. You wouldn't happen to know how that happened, would you?" Sophia stared at the toy. It was one of Liam's favorites, one he'd flown in the backyard just yesterday. Now its wings were snapped clean off. "Ma'am, it was fine when I cleaned up last night. I don't know what—" Vanessa's voice cut like ice. "So it just broke itself?" "I'm saying maybe one of the boys—" "Exactly," Vanessa interrupted, her tone sharpening. "You're supposed to supervise them. That's your job, isn't it?" "Supervision." Before Sophia could respond, Ethan and Liam appeared at the bottom of the stairs, still in pajamas, rubbing their sleepy eyes. "Come here, boys," Vanessa said in a voice too sweet to be real. "Look what I found. Liam, this was your plane, wasn't it?" Liam's eyes widened at the sight of it. "My plane?" His voice cracked. "What happened?" "That's exactly what I want to know." Vanessa crouched down, holding the broken toy in front of him. "Do you think someone who really cares about you would let this happen?" Sophia's heart sank. "Mrs. Whitmore." "Quiet," Vanessa snapped without looking at her. She turned back to the twins. "Tell me, boys, do you think Sophia's been doing a good job watching you?" Ethan shook his head instantly, terrified. "She does. She helps us." Vanessa smiled tightly. "Of course she does. But accidents happen when people aren't careful. Maybe Sophia's just tired. Maybe she's distracted." Sophia stepped forward, trembling with anger. "That's enough, Mum. You're upsetting them." Vanessa rose slowly, eyes glinting. "Are you contradicting me in front of the children?" Sophia lowered her gaze. "No, ma'am." "Good." Vanessa placed the toy on the counter. "Because I'll have to tell Daniel about this. He deserves to know when his employees can't handle their responsibilities." Sophia's stomach twisted. She knew what this meant. A phone call, another lie, another seed of doubt planted in Daniel's mind. Vanessa took out her phone, dialing right there in front of them. "Hi, darling," she said brightly. "Sorry to bother you this early, but something happened this morning." She turned slightly, lowering her voice just enough for the children to still hear. "Liam's favorite toy plane. Completely smashed. No, not their fault. I just think Sophia's getting overwhelmed." "Yes, I'm worried too." Sophia stood frozen as Vanessa continued, her every word deliberate and poisonous. When she hung up, she turned to Sophia with a calm smile. "Daniel wants to speak with you tonight. He'll call around 8. The rest of the day crawled forward like a slow punishment. Vanessa found new reasons to humiliate her, criticizing her cleaning, her cooking, even the way she folded the boys' laundry. During lunch, she made Sophia serve at the table while she lectured the twins about proper discipline. "Children need structure," Vanessa said sweetly, buttering her bread. "They don't learn kindness from being coddled. They learn it from consequences." Ethan stared at his plate. Liam's small hands fidgeted in his lap. "Do you agree, Sophia?" Vanessa asked suddenly, her tone light but her eyes dark. "Yes, Mom," Sophia said softly. "Good," Vanessa replied. "Then you'll understand why I won't tolerate negligence in my house." When the evening came and the clock struck 8, the phone rang right on time. Sophia's heart hammered as she answered. Daniel's tired face appeared on the video screen, hotel background, suit jacket hanging behind him. "Sophia, Vanessa told me there was another issue today." She swallowed hard. "Sir, it wasn't negligence. The toy must have broken some time after—" Vanessa said it looked like it was stepped on. I would never. She didn't say you did. She said maybe the boys were unsupervised. That's what concerns me. Sophia's throat burned. Behind her, Vanessa entered the frame, smiling warmly. She placed her hand on Ethan's shoulder, the picture of a loving stepmother. Let's not make this bigger than it is, Vanessa said sweetly. Accidents happen, Daniel sighed. Sophia, please just be careful, okay? I trust you, but I need peace of mind while I'm gone. Yes, sir, she said, forcing herself not to cry. After the call ended, Vanessa's pleasant expression vanished. You see how easy it is? She whispered coldly. He believes me. He always will. Later that night, Sophia went to check on the twins before bed. Liam was sitting upright, tears streaming silently down his face. What's wrong, honey? I had another dream about Mommy, he whispered. She was crying. She said she's sorry we couldn't save her. Sophia sat beside him, pulling him into her arms. Your mom isn't sad with you, sweetheart. She loves you so much. Why'd she leave us? Sophia hesitated, brushing his hair gently. Because sometimes when people get sick, love isn't enough to keep them here. But that doesn't mean she stopped loving you. At the door, Vanessa's voice sliced through the dim light. What's going on here? Sophia turned. He had a nightmare. I was just comforting. You were filling his head with more fairy tales about his dead mother. No, Enough. Vanessa's eyes blazed. From now on, you don't go into their rooms unless I say so. Do you understand? Sophia clenched her fists. Yes, ma'am. The next day, Vanessa enforced her new rule like military order. Every interaction between Sophia and the twins was monitored. Every word weighed. By dinner, the house had become a silent battlefield. The boys ate in silence. Sophia served their plates without meeting anyone's eyes. Vanessa smiled pleasantly. How's the pasta, boys? It's good, Ethan mumbled. And you, Liam? He hesitated, distracted. Yes, Tia Mala. The fork slipped from Vanessa's hand. The room froze. What? She said softly. Did you just call me? Liam's face went pale. I didn't mean Tia Mala, Vanessa repeated slowly, standing. Is that what you call me when I'm not around? Tears welled in Liam's eyes. No, answer me! Her voice cracked like thunder. Sophia rose instinctively. He's just a child, please. Sit down. Vanessa hissed. She crouched in front of Liam, her tone now a deadly whisper. You're going to apologize properly. Say it. I'm sorry, Liam sobbed. Not like that. Say, I'm sorry, Vanessa, for calling you mean. You're good to me, and I don't deserve your kindness. Please, Sophia whispered, her eyes filling with tears. Say it, Vanessa screamed. Liam choked on his tears, repeating the words line by line, his small voice trembling. When he finished, Vanessa straightened, smoothing her dress as if nothing had happened. Good boy. Now go upstairs. The twins ran out of the dining room, crying. Sophia sat frozen, shaking with fury and helplessness. Vanessa looked at her, smiling faintly. Any comments, Sophia? No, ma'am. Perfect, Vanessa said. Because tomorrow Daniel comes home, and I want this house spotless and calm. Understand? Yes, ma'am. As Vanessa left the room, Sophia stayed seated at the table long after, her hands trembling against the linen. She knew one thing for sure. She couldn't stay silent any longer. Tomorrow, Daniel would come home, and somehow, some way, she would make him see the truth. The next morning, Sophia woke with a decision carved into her heart. She couldn't allow Vanessa to keep tormenting those children, not after last night. Daniel would return that evening. If she could gather proof before then, he'd finally see who Vanessa truly was. When the house fell quiet after breakfast, Sophia slipped into her small downstairs room. She had an old cell phone she kept for emergencies. It wasn't fancy, but it could record. She'd start collecting evidence. Anything. Vanessa's voice, the children's fear, something undeniable. But when she opened her drawer, she froze. Her clothes were scattered. Her documents, passport, visa, medical forms were dumped across the bed. And in the center of the mess sat Vanessa, calm and collected, holding Sophia's passport in one manicured hand. What are you doing in my room? Sophia whispered. Vanessa looked up. My house, Sophia. Your room is a courtesy, not a right. She flipped through the papers. Do you know what's interesting? Your visa expired 8 months ago. Sophia's blood ran cold. Please, Mrs. Whitmore, I can explain. Oh, I'm sure you can. Vanessa smiled. But immigration doesn't care about explanations. Technically, you're working here illegally. One phone call, and you'll be on a flight back to wherever you came from before dinner. Sophia's knees almost gave out. Please, don't do this. Vanessa stood, holding up another paper. And what's this? A forged medical certificate. Very creative. Lying to get your first job, that's a crime too. Tears filled Sophia's eyes. Where did you find that? Let's just say I'm thorough. Vanessa stepped closer, lowering her voice. Now here's what's going to happen. You'll stop interfering with how I raise those children. You'll stop whispering in Daniel's ear. You'll smile, clean, and stay silent. In exchange, I keep your little secrets safe. Deal? Sophia stared at her, trembling. You're hurting them. They're terrified of you, Vanessa smirked. They need discipline. I'm helping them toughen up. If you think I'll stay quiet, you will, Vanessa cut in. Because if you don't, I'll tell Daniel everything. That you forged documents, overstayed your visa, and... She leaned closer, whispering. That you've been emotionally unstable ever since your husband died. Sophia's breath caught. That's not true, Vanessa smiled. Truth is irrelevant when you control the story. She turned and walked to the door. Now clean this place up. I'd hate for Daniel to think you've been neglecting your duties. The moment she left, Sophia sat on the edge of her bed, shaking uncontrollably. She wanted to scream, to call Daniel right then, but she knew what Vanessa was capable of. The woman was methodical, ruthless. By lunchtime, Vanessa had found a new way to twist the knife. She sat at the dining table, sipping tea while the twins quietly ate sandwiches. Ethan, she said sweetly, who helped you find your math book yesterday, Sophia or me? The boy hesitated. I think carefully, Vanessa said softly, because Sophia told me she did, but I remember finding it myself. Ethan's eyes darted between them. I don't know. Exactly, Vanessa said, smiling at Sophia. You see? Even they can't tell when you're telling the truth. Sophia bit her lip so hard it bled. After lunch, Vanessa left to run errands. Sophia used the time to call her daughter, Lucia. Mama, Lucia said between tears. The teacher asked about the trip money in front of everyone. I told her you'd pay, but one girl laughed and said my mom's just a maid. I hate this. Sophia's voice broke. Don't listen to her, mi amor. You're going to that trip? I promise. Really? Yes, Sophia whispered, her eyes burning. You deserve it. When she hung up, a shadow moved in the hallway. Vanessa had returned earlier than expected. Problems at home? She asked lightly. Sophia turned, startled. Just my daughter. She needs money for school. How much? 300, Vanessa smiled, pulling out her wallet. Here, consider it a personal loan. But let's be clear, it's not just money. It's trust. Don't betray it. Sophia understood. It wasn't generosity. It was blackmail. That evening, as she was setting the table for dinner, Vanessa created her final trap. She called the twins into the living room and gestured toward a tall blue ceramic vase on the shelf. Boys, she said gently, could you help me by bringing that vase here? Ethan frowned. It's heavy. You're strong. You can do it. They tried. And as Vanessa expected, the vase slipped from their tiny hands and shattered across the marble floor. Oh no, she gasped theatrically. My mother's antique vase, worth thousands. Sophia ran in at the sound of breaking glass. What happened? Vanessa turned, feigning sorrow. Your lack of supervision happened. The boys could have been hurt. Ma'am, you asked them. Don't you dare accuse me, Vanessa snapped. Daniel will hear about this right now. She dialed him on speaker, her voice trembling with fake distress. Daniel, the boys just broke my mother's vase. I'm so thankful they're okay, but Sophia wasn't even here. I'm starting to worry she's overwhelmed. Maybe unstable. Sophia's heart stopped at that word. Unstable. Vanessa ended the call, turning to her with calm satisfaction. He'll want to speak to you tonight. When Daniel's face appeared on the screen an hour later, exhaustion was written all over him. Sophia, what's going on? Sir, it wasn't neglect. She told them to. Vanessa says you've seemed different lately. Distracted, even emotional. That's because she's lying. Vanessa appeared in the frame, tears welling perfectly on cue. I think Sophia's under too much stress, Daniel. Maybe she needs help. That's not true. Sophia cried. She's the one hurting your kids. Daniel's voice hardened. Enough. We'll talk when I'm home. When the call ended, Sophia turned to Vanessa. You won't get away with this, Vanessa smiled. Oh, darling, I already have. That night, Sophia packed her few belongings, knowing what awaited when Daniel returned. When morning came, he was there, his face cold, his voice rehearsed. Sophia, I think you need time off, to rest, maybe talk to someone. Tears welled in her eyes. You believe her? I believe you're overwhelmed, he said softly. I'm not firing you, just take a break. As Sophia stepped toward the door, a small voice stopped her. Tia, Sophia? Ethan stood at the top of the stairs, clutching his stuffed bear. You're coming back, right? Sophia forced a trembling smile. Of course, sweetheart. Vanessa appeared behind Daniel, her arms folded, victorious. We'll miss you, Sophia. Take care of yourself. As the door closed behind her, Sophia could still hear the twins crying upstairs, and somewhere behind those tears, Vanessa's quiet laughter. The next morning, the Whitmore mansion felt unnervingly still. Daniel woke to the sound of nothing, no laughter, no tiny footsteps. For years, he'd grown used to the sounds of Ethan and Liam playing down the hall. Now, only silence. He rose, rubbing his temples, and walked toward their room. The twins were huddled together on one bed, still in pajamas, tear streaks dried on their cheeks. Hey, boys, he said gently. Why are you still in bed? Liam blinked awake, startled. We had nightmares again, Ethan whispered, since Tia Sophia left. Daniel's chest tightened. What kind of nightmares? That you'd go away too, Liam said quietly, like Mommy and Sophia. Daniel sat beside them, guilt crushing his chest. No, boys. Daddy's here. I'm not going anywhere. They clung to him silently. When he finally got them dressed and brought them downstairs, Vanessa was in the kitchen, hair perfect, coffee cup in hand, scrolling through her phone. Morning, darling, she said without looking up. The kids can grab cereal. I'm not the maid, you know. Something about her tone made Daniel pause. The warmth he thought he'd married was gone, replaced by something cold and entitled. I'll make breakfast, he muttered, reaching for eggs. As he cooked, he caught the boys glancing nervously at Vanessa, flinching when she moved too quickly. Their small shoulders tensed as if waiting for something bad to happen. That was the moment it hit him. Sophia had been right. Later that day, while Vanessa went shopping, Daniel made a quiet call to a private security firm. By evening, discreet cameras were installed in the living room, kitchen, and hallway, just for peace of mind, he told her when she returned. Vanessa smiled, but her jaw tightened. Cameras? Don't you trust me? Of course, he said easily. But after what happened with Sophia, I just want clarity next time something goes wrong. Vanessa forced a laugh. You'll see, I run this house perfectly. She didn't know the cameras were already live. The following Monday, Daniel sat in his downtown office reviewing contract drafts when his phone vibrated with a motion alert from the home system. He opened the feed automatically, expecting nothing. What he saw made his blood run cold. Vanessa stood in the living room towering over little Ethan, who was crying. Her voice was sharp, venomous, crystal clear through the audio. Say it again, she ordered. The boy shook his head. Say it! "My mom didn't love me," Ethan whimpered. "Louder! My mom didn't love me." His tiny voice cracked. "And why not?" "Because I was bad." Daniel froze, watching in horror as Vanessa smiled. "That's right. Now remember that next time you make me angry." He couldn't watch another second. Grabbing his keys, he stormed out of the office, ignoring the receptionist calling after him. When he arrived home, the boys were outside in the yard, sitting quietly under a tree. Vanessa was on the sofa, flipping through a magazine as if nothing had happened. "Vanessa," he said, his voice like steel, "we need to talk." She looked up, all fake concern. "What's wrong, love? You look pale." He shut the living room door behind him. "I saw the recording." Her smile faltered. "What recording?" "The one where you made my 6-year-old son say his dead mother didn't love him." She went still, then laughed softly. "You're misinterpreting—" "Don't," he snapped. "I heard every word." Vanessa's tone changed instantly, sweetness gone, venom revealed. "They need discipline, Daniel. You coddle them too much. They have to accept that Elena is gone." "Discipline?" he shouted. "You call that discipline? You're destroying them." She stood, fury flashing. "What about me, huh? What about my life? You think it's easy living in a museum of that woman? Her photos, her name, her ghost in every room." "Elena was their mother," Daniel roared. "She'll always be part of this family." Vanessa's eyes darkened. "Then maybe it's them I hate most, those little reminders of everything I'll never be." For a moment, Daniel just stared at her, realization dawning too late. "Sophia was right," he said quietly. Vanessa's face twisted. "Of course she was," she spat. "That stupid maid and her bleeding heart. She was ruining everything. You think I planted those pills because I wanted to? I had to. She was going to turn you against me." Daniel's hands trembled. "You did plant them," Vanessa smirked. "And you believed me. So maybe you're not as smart as you think." He took out his phone and pressed play on the recording. Her own voice filled the room, every cruel word echoing back at her. "Game's over," he said flatly. "You have 1 hour to pack. My lawyer's on his way." Vanessa went pale. "You can't just throw me out. I already did." "You'll regret this," she hissed, grabbing her purse. "The only thing I regret," Daniel said, "is not believing the woman who actually protected my children." 2 hours later, Sophia stood on the doorstep, suitcase still half unpacked from her forced dismissal. When Daniel opened the door, she froze. "Mr. Whitmore," his voice broke. "Sophia, I'm so sorry. You were right, about everything." Her eyes filled instantly. "The boys, are they okay?" "They are now. Please come in." As she stepped inside, 2 small figures ran from the hallway. "Tia Sophia!" Ethan and Liam threw themselves into her arms. She dropped to her knees, sobbing as she hugged them tightly. "Oh, my boys, I missed you so much." "Are you staying?" Liam asked between tears. She looked up at Daniel, who nodded. "Yes, sweetheart. She's home." Daniel knelt beside them. "Sophia saved you both, and I was too blind to see it. I'll fix that. Starting now." He turned to her, voice steady. "Your papers, your visa, everything. I'll take care of it. Permanently. You'll never have to worry again." Sophia shook her head, overwhelmed. "Sir, you don't owe me anything." "I owe you everything," he said simply. "You protected what I love most." Months later, peace returned to the Whitmore home. Vanessa's divorce was finalized, her lies exposed in court through Daniel's recordings. Sophia's legal status was restored, her daughter Lucia now living with them and attending a good school. Every evening the house filled again with laughter, the twins chasing Lucia through the hallways, Sophia cooking while Daniel helped with homework. One Sunday, Daniel watched through the window as Sophia and the kids played soccer in the yard. The golden light hit their faces, Ethan laughing, Liam shouting for a pass, Lucia pretending to referee, and in Sophia's smile he saw something he hadn't seen since Elena's death: peace. When the game ended, he joined them outside. Liam tugged his sleeve. "Dad, if Sophia ever gets married, will she have to leave?" Daniel smiled faintly, glancing at her. "I don't think she's going anywhere, buddy." That night, when the kids were asleep, he found Sophia in the kitchen cleaning up. "Thank you," he said quietly. "For what?" "For not giving up on us," she smiled softly. "I couldn't. You're my family too." For the first time in years, Daniel felt whole, and upstairs, Ethan and Liam slept peacefully. No nightmares, no fear, just the comfort of knowing that when morning came, Tia Sophia would still be there, always.